Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live. It's Thursday night. Me, Badger. Give a couple minutes for everybody to get in here. I think I say that every week. But uh, but yeah, we'll just give it a couple of seconds for everybody to get in. If everybody can maybe hit the like button, let me know you're here. That would be fantastic. But I can't. Oh, there we go. See if we got anybody yet. And oh yeah, there we go. Got some folks showing up. All right, great. That's awesome. Let me turn my radio off. Okay. Happy Thursday, everybody. I guess we're almost through another week. Let's see where we're at here. Jan Batista, hello. Ronald Coward, how are you? Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Bob the Builder, hello. Can everybody hear me? I'm just going to ask that one time. Everybody can hear me okay? And we'll get started with the festivities. The Thirsty Thursday edition of the week. Loud and clear. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Okay, so yeah. So today we are going to, I'm sure you guys all figured it out by the flyer on the post page, I'm going to be making the classic meatloaf today. And I'm going to do it pretty much how I am going to switch it up from how I do it. So for anybody, I know none of you guys have ever had my meatloaf before, but generally I make my meatloaf with in a Dutch oven with a trivet. Now the downside to doing that in this forum is that it usually takes me about an hour and 15 to 20 minutes to do it that way at 350 because you have to add so much time for the trivet time. I use a lot more ground beef, and today I'm going to be using the Lodge loaf pan. And then on the side, we're going to also have potato pancakes. So that should be pretty good. So we're going to have meatloaf, we're going to have potato pancakes, and we're going to have peas carrots, which is kind of basically shepherd's pie and making a ton more dishes. So that's how we're doing. Pat Z, hello. Let's say hi to everybody here before we get started. Pat Z, how's it going? Hey, buddy. Hey, Bob the Builder. Hey, Ronald Coward. Hey, RT Scott. And I think I said, hey, Rusty. How you doing, buddy? Glad to see you. Yeah, Rusty, I was going to do with this, I was actually going to do some stuffing, some Pepperidge Farm stuffing like you kind of did in your herring patties yesterday. But I made bread last night, so we're actually going to use regular old breadcrumbs from last night's bread that I made. If anybody happened to see that on the community post, I did bread last night and it came out fantastic. I added some things to that bread recipe that I showed you folks a while back, where I changed up how I mix it up. I added some olive oil. I changed the proofing time and the temperature, and my bread came out fantastic, and I can't wait to slice up a piece of that and have with my meatloaf. So yeah, you guys are doing meatloaf patties, I believe, aren't you, Rusty? But anyway, we'll wait and see what Rusty has to say. I'll look for that, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So what I've got here to get started is 1 pound of 80/20, which is pretty standard for any kind of meatloaf. And I'm just gonna hand mix this up, and I'm gonna do this in the order. So then my recipe is generally 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. I've cut it down to 1 pound. So I'm using about, just about a little less than 1/2 cup of real breadcrumbs. And these are breadcrumbs just straight from the bread I made last night. and I dried it out today on a sheet. And I'm going to work those in. I'm not too worried about getting it how it looks to begin with, and I'm going to keep my clean hand here. Yeah, and like I said, I usually do this in a number 8. I do a lot more ground beef. I do it in a number 8 cast iron Dutch oven with a trivet at the bottom, but that honestly takes forever to get to temperature. And there's a lot of messing around with it, and I'm trying to keep this down to a certain amount of time, so we're just going to go that route. And I'm also going to throw in, I've got green peppers and white sweet onion in here, and what I do is I just take about a handful of that. I do 2 handfuls of that, and I mix that into there. We're going to mix that into there. Get those ground up into that. And let me see. And then I'm going to take, while I'm thinking about it, before I get any farther, oh no, I'll just wait. I'll wait here a second, because I would get to this stuff. Because I've got some garlic, some minced garlic off to the side, but I'll do that once I should have done that. I should have put that in here, but anyway, I didn't. Yeah, I guess I could go ahead and get it. That hand's fairly, this hand's clean. Clean enough. And I do want to put that garlic in it. That garlic's calling my name. So I'm going to do a heaping teaspoon of garlic, of minced garlic. Throw that in there. Put this off to the side. How many mini loaf? Oh, man, that scrolled past me. Sorry. Sometimes how I do this, and I've said before, my comments don't stick. Let me see if I can see them on my actual camera there. But they're flying by pretty quick. Anyway, okay. So I've got the teaspoon of minced garlic in there, heaping teaspoon. I'm gonna get this stuff all in there, incorporated. And once I get everything in there, I'll go two-fisted with this. And that'll incorporate everything a little bit better. I've got 1 beaten egg in here. And then I've got a teaspoon of chives. I've got a half teaspoon of crushed red pepper. I've got a half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of pepper, black pepper. And I'll put that in there. That's in there. And I'm also going to put in just a little bit, about 2 teaspoons of Heinz 57 sauce. That in there. A lot of people put ketchup or mustard or whatever in there, but I've always been a big fan of Heinz 57 sauce until about 20 minutes ago. And that's when I realized that they have all this corn syrup. They've changed the recipe. I tasted it, and they've literally changed the recipe for Heinz 57 sauce. So it is no longer one of my favorite things to do anything with. I can definitely taste the corn syrup instead of everything else, instead of real sugar. And they've omitted some of the other things. I think the one was anchovies. That's not in there anymore. And I'm trying to think of what else. And the caramel color. I'm not a big fan of stuff that has caramel color in it, which is why I spend a couple extra bucks on Worcestershire sauce. And speaking of Worcestershire sauce, we're going to put a splash of the Worcestershire sauce in there, the Lee & Perrins. Just a splish. Not much. Because a little bit of Worcestershire sauce I found goes a long way. And we're going to do a little splash of soy sauce in there. And not much, because these things, when you're only working with a pound, the flavors you can get them overpowered real quick. Let me check my recipe here and see if there's anything else that I wanted to throw in, and there is. I wanted to put in a quarter cup of milk. And let me get that over here. I've got the stuff that can spill off to the side, so you have to bear with me a second. Let's see. So a quarter cup of milk. Which this is 1/8 of a cup, so we got a little bit of milk. And I'll just toss that off to the side. And let me see what to do with my milk here. Hey Corey, Chloricark, what's up buddy? Good to see you. And all kinds of folks in here tonight. Put my milk away for right now, which I think I'm going to need to use the milk again here in just a second. Let me check my list. Green peppers, the egg, couple splashes of Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper. I'm not going to use garlic powder because I think that's going to overpower it. And we're going to mix that up, and then we're going to get it into the Lodge loaf pan, which for me is going to be a little different. And I did go ahead and I went and lined the pan with parchment paper so it would be easier to get out. Because I was trying to figure out something. Somewhere around this house and in my kitchen is a rack that goes inside my loaf pans. A little small aluminum or stainless steel rack that goes underneath there. And it makes things it's like a trivet at the bottom of the loaf pan. And it does make everything so much easier to get out. It actually just pops out. But I couldn't find that to save my life, and I couldn't, and I also didn't know how well this would come out in a loaf pan. Like I said, I've never once made a meatloaf in a loaf pan. Not once. I've always done it in a Dutch oven. And it's kind of basically how my meatloaf normally looks, is like half of a big meatball. It's always round. It's like artesian loaf. It's almost like an artesian loaf loaf of bread. That's how that generally looks. I'm going to try and form it up here just a little bit. I think that's going to fit in there fairly well. Like I said, I put some parchment paper on there, and then I'm going to transfer that over. I think I like how I think that'll be about enough. And then for the topper on this, instead of ketchup or more 57 sauce, I've got a mustard barbecue sauce that I really, really like, and that's what I'm gonna top it with. I think that looks pretty decent. That looks not too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off, and I'm gonna bring over the loaf pan with the parchment paper in there. And I've got to get the parchment paper to stay down. I took, if we can see that, you guys can see it. Yeah, you guys can see that. Make them in the Lodge loaf pan. It was a big mess, huh? Okay, well, I'm about to have a big mess. Maybe I'm going to end up with Sloppy Joe. This is what I was really, really afraid of, is I'm going to end up with Sloppy Joe. No place for the fat to drain. I know, that's what I'm wondering too. But let's hope and that everything goes well. And like I said, I I just didn't want to turn this into an hour and a half making making the meatloaf. This may come back and bite me in the ass, which I got a feeling that it's going to. But the thing I wonder though, I just wonder this. I've got a two quart Dutch. I've got these 2-quart Dutch ovens. I wonder how that'll fit. If that would fit. And this isn't real life, so if that would fit in there. And one of these, I do believe, actually has a trivet in it. It did have a trivet in it. Well, it did. Oh, there we go. Let me see how that would go. Let me see if that would actually fit in there. I think that might actually work. Let's change the scenery just a little bit here. And I do have this. So let me glove up again. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna go that route because I'm really worried about how that the grease is gonna drain. So let me throw that into the oven for about 2 or 3 minutes and heat that pan up and grab a paper towel. I really think that we're gonna do what they call a change of venue with this. We'll give that pan just a couple minutes to heat up in the oven. And I'm going to turn that up because I am not liking how that looks. As much as I thought it was a good idea at one point, I'm really thinking at this point that it's not a good idea. So, and like I said, this is cast iron in real life. This isn't a planned show. I do everything here on the fly. And it's just like me basically cooking dinner with, I could do one of these shows all day because I've already cooked with cast iron 2 or 3 times today. I made my breakfast with cast iron. There's still there's still my egg pan from this morning, that's what we're gonna make our potato pancakes on. And so that's how that's gonna go. I think we are gonna do it that way. I think I'm gonna let that sit for a second. We're gonna look at the comments section. I'm gonna have a little bit of my cocktail. And hello, Mercy B. Good to see you. Hey, Rick. Let me see. I thought I saw Huey in here, but I could be just making that up in my head. Ooh. Boy, I'm going to have to take a light on these. Made this a little strong. Have you ever done that where you have like the end of a bottle and you're like, man, I don't think it's going to make more than 2 or 3 drinks, so I think I'm just going to make like one really strong drink? Yeah, Cynthia isn't here. What's going on with that? She needs to get in here. Let's see, and I'll set a trivet down and kind of move that off to the side. I'm sure that's a good flat one. And enjoy my drink here. Strong's Adventure, is he in here? If so, Tom's Food Factory, what's up? Tonight's menu is meatloaf, and I have just changed the venue. I was going to do it in a loaf pan, and now I'm going to use a 2-quart Dutch oven with a trivet in the bottom of it. So I've got a delay of game penalty going on right now. I've thrown the flag because I just didn't like how that loaf pan was going to work out without my because I couldn't find the loaf pan trivet that I have. And it's not like a cast iron one or anything. It's not anything that Lodge sells. It's one I've had for decades, and I don't know where I put it. So that's what we're doing. And we're also going to do, after I get this into the oven, after I get the meatloaf in, I'm gonna mix up some potato pancakes. And I'm gonna use everybody's favorite for the potato pancakes. I'm gonna use instant mashed potatoes because everybody I know loves instant mashed potatoes. I'm a huge fan of instant mashed potatoes because I grew up on banquet dinners. And I used to love the ones at my school. And my mom, I was always like, Mom, can you make them like the ones at school? Because my mom worked at the school. My mom worked in the cafeteria. And yeah, my mom worked in the cafeteria. So even though my dad hated instant mashed potatoes, my mom would make me a thing of instant mashed potatoes on the side. Yeah, Corey, I'm thinking that too. I'm gonna heat this pan up. I'm gonna go a little higher temperature than 350, and I think that's gonna save us from making manwich at some point. And I'm out of buns, so I was gonna make buns when I made my bread last night, but I didn't because I figured I was going to make what I'm making now. I was gonna make the meatloaf, which basically, like I said, I've got shepherd's pie. I've got peas, carrots. I'm gonna have instant mashed potato, potato pancakes. For any of you, any folks in Ohio, July 26th is the Ohio Egg Fest competition and fundraiser. I'll be competing in it again this year. That's awesome. I remember when you did that last year for Egg Fest and I couldn't make it. So Huey is lurking around in here. And hi, Cynthia Wesley. Hello. Glad you could make it for the Thirsty Thursday edition of Cast Iron IRL Live. So this is starting off not as I planned. And hopefully that Frank Morello's out there. Frank in Montana. I hope you're out there doing your thing. Frank has a little trouble getting on there, but I know that he's watching, which is always cool. So anyway, I've given that a couple minutes to heat up. I'm going to get that out, get it greased up. I'm going to take that down to 375. Because like I said, I want this to go fairly decent and cook pretty quickly. In the loaf pans, it says it's only like 35 minutes. So I'm already going a lot past that. So let me just real quick. And I had this one, I had that all figured out with the parchment paper and everything, but I don't think that's gonna fly. Let me grab some mitts and get that out of there. So I think we've heated that enough. It's not like it's gonna cook on there anyway. So I just gotta heat that cast iron up a little bit before I sock it in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil, and I think I'm gonna go olive oil with this, and going to flip that over, and I'm gonna get that olive oil on there, spin that around in that olive oil a little bit so we don't get any sticking in that fashion. That off to the side there for just a second. I'm gonna grab a paper towel and wipe that up. Wipe that around the sides so we don't want any kind of nastiness in there. This is taking a lot longer. I thought I'd be about halfway done. But I say that every week. Every single week I say that. Okay, got that wiped up. That on there. This thing on there. Wipe that down fairly well. Some oil, do a little more oil onto this. Set that to the side. And then we'll just form that in there and we should be cooking. We'll be cooking. Make that in there. And get that into the oven. So there we go. Yeah, I think that's going to work out a lot better. And this is a pretty darn, yes. There we go. All right. So let's throw that there for 35 minutes. And turn that up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Hey, Cast Iron Chaos. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. I didn't think you'd be in tonight. Okay, so we got that part out of the way. So let's move a couple things out of the way in my tiny, tiny kitchen. Another sip. And we'll go on to the next thing, which is our potato pancakes. Meatloaf sliders for Super Bowl. Yeah, that would be a good time. Yeah, it's going to be a giant meatball. But Corey Clark, he definitely, I'm hoping that changed the game a little bit with the mess that I think it's going to be on getting it out of there. But, you know, because even when you see like the ones, the regular aluminum pans, they have a little thing in there that where you can pull it out, where you can pull that out of there. And this did not have that. And like I said, I have that really, and that rack that I have is super, super perfect for doing anything in a loaf pan that keeps it just enough off the bottom. And I kind of even modified it. I snipped the bottom of the little curvatures off so I could push so it sat right above the, right above the bottom surface of the loaf pans. And I could not find that today to save my life. So, anyway, do I have a poop knife? Mr. Poop Butthole, do you have a poop knife? Oh, this is why I need a moderator. This is why I need a moderator. Oh, but anyway, anywho. Yeah, today was super icy here. I got a big surprise when I went out to walk the dog at 5:30 this morning. That it was a sheet of ice. It was black ice everywhere. And I'm very glad that other than sliding down the driveway just a little bit, we ended up taking even the dog, she had a really, really hard time today walking down the driveway and onto the sidewalk. We all just went into the yards. We went into the grass and did it that way, so we did it. And then I didn't realize this morning I would be salting my walk and driveway. So that was a little bit different. Let me see here. So let's get this started here. Okay, so the temperature's up on that. And what am I got that on at 400? So here in about 20 minutes I'll take that down a little bit. But I'm going to do that at a higher heat because I have that trivet in there. And this trivet, I think the only part of that whole thing is I think the trivet is going to be that's the only downfall I think can happen. Let's see, Jimmy Langford, what's up, buddy? All right, so anyway, let's get to doing the potato flakes. So we've got our measuring cup for that. And we get out our water. We've got right off to the side here. And we'll do a cup of water. Gonna do a cup of water. And I'm pretty excited about using the mustard barbecue sauce the last 10 or so minutes of the meatloaf instead of ketchup or any of that other stuff. So we've got that, and I need my egg, which I've got right over here, out of the way, because I knew I thought I was gonna, I almost thought I was gonna knock it off with how I have everything on there. So we got our egg. An egg, a cup of water, and then we're gonna do, oh, where's my half teaspoon? A half teaspoon of salt. Got the half teaspoon of salt there. Let's see, and then we'll do our three-quarter cups of potato flakes, everybody's favorite. And I know this is going to get some booze, but it's my dinner. It's my dinner. So 1, 2, and ooh, that's quite a bit. Throw a little bit of that back in there. That back off to the side. Move those, and we'll get that mixed in. We'll get that mixed up. And then I'm going to crank in some actual, some peppercorn into that, quite a bit, because I'm all about the pepper. And then I'm going to use dehydrated chives, but I'm going to use about two teaspoons of that. Ooh, that's a little bit. Right about there. Those back in. Let's see, my dinner was leftover Chinese food from lunch. I love leftover Chinese food. Leftover Chinese food, or just Chinese food in general, is my hangover go-to. Lemon lime, Gatorade, and Chinese food will cure any hangover. You get my spatula, my other spatula that's not, I think I can just use that one again. That's not going to hurt anything. Spatula here to scrape the sides down. Walking around this light is become my favorite thing in the world in my kitchen. My kitchen is so small anyway, but then to walk around a camera stand and light in my kitchen makes everything so much better. And one thing, while I'm thinking about it, everybody's gonna have to, if you're here this week, you're gonna want to catch next week's live. Next week's live is going to be something different. I've booked a guest to come in next week who is going to bring in some of the rarest pieces of cast iron that most of us have ever seen. My friend Artie Bliss from West Virginia is going to be coming into town. He is bringing in some of the coolest stuff you've seen. He's going to be bringing in one-ofs. Sometimes maybe there's two in existence that are known. Artie has been collecting and restoring cast iron for probably about 30 to 35 years, I believe. I'll have him, he'll tell you a little bit more about himself. But Artie was, when I first started doing cast iron, I don't even remember how Artie and I met. And I believe that, I can't even, I want to say, on some cast iron forum, but I'm not even sure, and I've known Artie a long time. He has helped me learn to take my restoration game up quite a bit. Just so much, and I appreciate him so much with the help that I've gotten from him. But that's going to be a really cool show. He's bringing a ton of pieces. Like I said, these are things that, a little bit of paprika here too, just to give it a little bit of color, and a little bit of red pepper just because. But when Artie's got some of the neatest cast iron that I've ever seen, and a lot of it, since we live so far apart, I haven't got to see much of it. But he's coming to Ohio for a stay with a mutual friend of ours, and he's going to be bringing in some stuff that's just, it's just unbelievable, some of the things he's got. And we're talking 1850s pieces, 1875 pieces. He has one of the few, and I hope he brings this with him. He has one of the few sandwich makers. I believe it's a Wagner sandwich maker that he's bringing. Just the list is endless. It's going to be a fantastic show. I'm just going to set up a table here in my kitchen, and I'm going to set up a little side table here in the kitchen and let him go through all of it. But I can't even, he kept he's been sending me messages all week of what he's going to bring and what to kind of expect. And there's so much of it that I don't even know where to, I can't do it justice by talking about it. So yeah, we probably won't be cooking next week. It'll probably be a pizza and beer kind of show where he comes in and brings it. Yeah, Ronald, this is going to be, it's going to be a fantastic show. And I get to see my friend Artie, who I haven't seen since last year. He's coming in, he's working with one of the local distilleries. He's also he's an expert with vanilla making. He also makes custom vanilla extracts and things like that. And he's coming into Ohio to work with one of the local distilleries to do a bourbon vanilla flavor. It's just going to be super, super fun. I really am looking forward to when he gets here. So next week, it won't be a cooking show, but it's going to be one of those things that you really aren't going to want to miss it. I'm really looking forward to it. Let me see, is there anything else in here that I'm missing just because I'm sitting here jabbering on? And I'm trying to look at the comments too, but yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that that's going to be next week's show. And that's going to be super cool. And there's other people that I'm trying to line up that live semi-locally to me, that maybe some of these guys you've heard of, some of these guys you might have bought cast iron from, or seen that they're some of the, but I've got a few people that live in my area that are not in my area, but that I'm working on trying to get. I don't want to make any promises to anything because I don't know if I can get everybody. So you know. Yeah, he has been making vanilla forever, and just different flavors of vanilla, different strain. He knows more about vanilla beans than anybody I've ever met in my life. He sat there the other day because I've got a batch. I've ordered some vanilla beans for myself, and he was talking me through the process of how he does it, and I sat there and listened to him talk for 45 minutes straight just about how to make vanilla extract. It's just super cool, and the fact that he's getting to work with Hayter Brewer Distillery in Troy, Ohio, on his signature flavor is going to be really cool. And Artie is such a super cool guy. He's one of my favorite people. Artie was actually he's just a fun guy to sit and listen to and talk. He was actually the president of the Foghat. If anybody remembers the 70s band Foghat, Artie was the president of their fan club, like the official president of their fan club. And Manny Machado, the lead guitar player for Foghat, he then took over and did his fan club when Manny Machado, the lead guitar player for Foghat, left Foghat. So he has got some great stories. And the friend that he's also coming to visit is one of the other president. Like, they were like co-presidents of the Foghat fan club. So the stories that they tell are just amazing, and I really can't wait for him to show up. And I'm just gonna let Artie talk, and I'm just gonna ask him. Yeah, slow ride. Artie has the amplifier. Dude, some of the things that he got from the band is pretty crazy. I'm not even gonna talk about. Like, he has equipment that was used to record Hair of the Dog, and so does the other gentleman that he's coming to visit. And the stories that they tell are just they're mind blowing. It's fun to just sit around with a few shots and just sit around, sip bourbon, and listen to the stories. Let me see. Yeah, slow ride. Fool for the City. Yeah, another good one. Yeah, they had more than just Hair of the Dog. But yeah, he's going to be in next Thursday. And I am so unbelievably stoked about that. Let me get my thermometer out because I'm going to check the temperature of the Meatloaf. It's actually looking pretty darn good in there, sitting, but let's see, with vanilla, bourbon has more to do with the curing process than using bourbon to extract. Although you can use bourbon to extract. Yeah, they're doing, Hayter Distillery does all kinds of different spirits. So me talking about what they're doing is just not giving it justice because I don't know anything about distilling, and I don't know that much about vanilla extract other than I like it in my coffee. I like vanilla extract in my coffee, and I like it in my what do you call it? My sparkling water. And I'm attempting to make, and hopefully Artie brings me some vanilla beans to in the next 7 days. So that's going to be super cool. Can't wait for that. Yes, I'm using instant mashed potatoes. I like these just as much as regular potatoes. So instant mashed potatoes aren't for everybody, just the sexy people. As Morris Day once said, or Prince, I can't remember which one it was. Vanilla beans are expensive. Yeah, they are super expensive. And I got it written down. I'm doing a 16 ounce vanilla extract, and I forget how many beans it is that I need. I think it's, I can't remember. I've got it written down, and I'm just in the middle of this, so I can't go and look it up. But Need the recipe for what, Tom? I can go, I might be able to go. Let's see, high handsome stone. Let's see, high. Preserves and cast iron are my rabbit holes. Yeah, I'm really, this spring I'm really going to start canning. I just inherited um, my mom's canner, one of her canners, pressure cookers, and I can't wait to do that. Tom, the potato flakes are 1 cup of cold water, 1 egg, and then a half teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of potato flakes, 2 tablespoons of chives, black pepper, cayenne pepper, a tablespoon, and then this is just what I'm going to cook in. I'm going to use a tablespoon of a little bit of oil and butter to fry them up in here once they've sat. Yeah. Yeah, the burger has a video on making vanilla extract. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So yeah, Tom, if you want to, I'll put that up there. Let me see if it comes in fairly good. If you can actually see it. And like I said, I've said this in videos before, I write like a Chinese doctor. So if you can see that, I don't know. But that's the potato pancake mixture. And I gotta let it set up for, I gotta just let it kind of sit for a minute. Unmixed. So I need to kind of let it alone. So everything. I actually think that I'm gonna put just a little more flake in it. Because it's a little more, make a post with the recipes you do. Yeah, that's gonna be, that's one of the things that I'm going to work on, is having those in the description. Because the live thing wasn't something, and I've said this before, the lives were not something that I really planned to do. I just kind of enjoy doing the lives, and without, I lost that bet and had to do some lives. Way back to the chili one, probably, I honestly don't know how many of these I've done anymore, probably 10 or 15, somewhere in there. And if they look a little runny, just let them, just add a little more flake to them. But yeah, the lives weren't something I planned to do. I was mostly going to make this more of a cast iron history channel. But with Luis leaving and not doing these anymore, I don't know. I did it on Thursdays because I always used to watch him. So now I'm doing that. And I actually enjoy it because it gives me something to do on Thursdays. And it gives me something to do on Thursday nights. Thursday nights at my house is kind of a boring night. I sort of just do laundry and get everything done before the weekend. And I just figure I use cast iron on every meal. I don't even really have much else than cast iron anymore. Once I got away from Teflon and all those other things and started collecting, I just honestly, I don't have any more. I don't have anything else. So I've already used cast iron 2 or 3 times today. Turn those down to simmer. Let's see. Oh, Handsome Stone's giving out a nice, an extract recipe. So yeah, Mr. Mom. I've been called Mr. Mom before. Called being a single parent for 20 some years. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. I love being a parent. Being a single parent has been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. There's a lot of times where I wish that things for my kids would have been differently, but I also like how they've turned out for them. So I wouldn't change being a single parent for anything. Let me knock this thing off here. I'm going to give my peas and carrots a little stir. And the other thing I'm actually using tonight I will show you what I've got going on here as far as this, as they say, the stars of the show. Up in the corner here, I have a Sydney Hollowware 135-year-old 8-inch number 8 griddle, and then I have my Descoware number 3, the Ace Frehley pan. Meatloaf and potato pancakes. That's exactly it, man. It's gonna be good. I said I got these kind of sitting up here, and as soon as, like I said, I had that hiccup at the beginning that just sort of made everything go off the rails. And we'll just move that over here a little bit so you can see some of the other pans. That thing is the best. If you want, I love these old griddles. Now normally I keep on my stove, I keep a Lodge 9-inch round griddle, and I use that for everything, pancakes, scrambled eggs. But this is I wish you could pick up and see how light that thing is, the Sydney Hollowware. It is so light and so thin, so when I want to have something crispy, that is my go-to every single time. Especially when it's just me and I don't have to make a lot of something like I do tonight. I'm just going to make a couple potato pancakes on the side, and that's what we're going to do. And it's super. I love the inside of that. I'll break it off. Bring it off here for just a second and show, in case somebody hasn't seen my other videos, where I actually do a short with this one. But the inside of it, it even has the triangle maker's mark on the inside. And I see these on other pans as well. There we go. Yeah, the triangle in there. And this thing is absolutely perfect. And this is one I've said before that I got. I was at a auction, or kind of a garage sale kind of thing. And this was sitting in the barn off to the side. It wasn't for sale. It wasn't anything. It was just sitting there. And I went over and got it. It was sitting in a horse stall down on the ground. And that's why it's a little pitted on the top. It was real rusty and it was in real bad shape. And the guy was like, oh, this old thing. And I walked off with it. And I brought it home, threw it in the lye tank. And it's just cleaned up, and I've used it ever since. It's so neat to think about that, because I live in outside of Sydney, Ohio. I live in the same county, and the garage sale where I got this, it's just down the road from me. It's like right outside of the corporation limits of the little town I live in. So this, in 135 years, this griddle has never left this county. And you can find cast iron all over the place. You can find, you can find Indian heads in Florida, California, Alaska. You can find them all over the world. But in 135 years, that little griddle has never left. It's never left the 20 miles. It's never left 20 miles. And I think that is so completely cool. I'm going to move the one skillet that I've got Old Faithful here on the stove that hardly ever leaves. My Pickwa Best to Cook in, one of my all-time favorite pans. Move that off to the side, because that one's another one that never leaves the stove. And I love having pans like those, even though they're pitted and they've had a lot of use. That's one of those that you don't care if you crack it. And let's get on to seeing if, let's get a temperature check on the inside of this thing in here. Wow, that's what I was afraid of with this darn trivet, is that the temperature just wasn't going to come up, and it's not, and this is going to take forever. Because right now, I am at, some spots, this is not going good. I'm at 120 toward the bottom, but either way, I might just put the lid on this for a minute. throw the lid on that for a couple minutes. Let's see. And I'll take that temperature down. And I'm going to throw a lid on that. I'm going to put the lid on that and let that go. See if we can't speed that up. There we go. And get that going a little bit. And I will keep going with my cocktail and catch up on the comments. See how many folks we got in there. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got a decent amount of folks in. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Corey Clark, it's a cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline. Hey, thanks for coming in. Let me see. Oh yeah, Shovelhead 8 sent me an 11-inch cast iron skillet. Love to cook in that thing. Shovelhead 8's another great one. If you guys haven't seen Shovelhead 8, go to his. He does a cast iron. He does cast iron Wednesday every Wednesday, and a Fire It Up Friday for coffee. It's a good channel, and you can send your videos to Shovelhead 8, and he will put them into the Cast Iron Wednesday playlist. Something that I've never done, but someday maybe. Yeah, but Corey Clark, yeah, it's you wonder who's done this, who's cooked with this thing, and the house that I got it from at that garage sale, that was a 5 or 6 generation family farm, where they have they've been living there forever. They've been living there forever, and all that. So, I mean, yeah, how many, and what all it's cooked, and what all it's cooked. I mean, you're limited with a cast iron griddle on how many different things you can cook with it. But how many things did they make? How many lunches? How many breakfasts? How many, whatever? How many did they, how many things did they actually cook with that? And what did they cook? Pancakes. Who knows? And the things that and the memories and the moments that made up their kitchen. That's something. That's a lot of the fun with this hobby is things like that. Where's this stuff been? And that's one of the reasons that I really like getting, as much as I say, I don't like modern cast iron, I do like the fact that the story starts with me. And with my Stargazer, with the new Wagner long griddle, my Lodge pans, especially ones I use a lot, like the Buffalo Nickel skillet, my round griddles that I use a lot. These the 2-quart and 1-quart Dutch ovens that I use all the time, and I make stuff. I've made with those little 2-quart Dutch ovens. I've made so many roasted game hens for the kids and things like that. And those, they always like that, getting their own little chicken, as they called it. And soups, and how many meals we've had over those things, and the presses, and different things, and even like my new casserole dish that I call Excalibur. I was breaking that in, starting these lives, and that's just it's so much. It's pretty cool. It really is pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, Rusty, we'll see you, pal. Thank you so much for showing up. We'll see you Sunday. Yeah, but yeah, it's a fun hobby, and it's something that, you can go to McDonald's, and, you can have restaurants and things like that, your family can say, oh, I remember when we used to go to this restaurant or that restaurant or whatever. But at the end of the day, you don't have the pieces that you cooked with. You don't have the spoon, even the spoons and all the other things. My kitchen is littered with things that were my great grandmother's house. I've been so lucky to be one of the few grandkids and great grandkids that actually stayed in the area, because all of those kitchen items have sort of made their way to my kitchen. Like I have my grandmother's old, I got one of my grandma's old juicers that she bought from a horse-drawn cart. I've got their glass juicer that they used to make orange juice with, and all these different things, utensils and sheet pans and all, just so many different things. And then, even like with the cutting boards and my knife block that my uncle made for me. I mean, it's just been, it's just, everything seems to come back into the kitchen. You can have everything. You can have, in your living room, you have a TV. How long do you have a TV? 10 years, 15 years, the TV's gone. Your couch is gone. Coffee table is gone. Things like that. But the cookware, the kitchen stuff, it just seems to be priceless and never goes anywhere. And that's kind of, to me, that's what it's all about. That's where the memories in the house are really made. That and in the garage. Smoking bears. Yeah. And just like, Lee, you have your grandma's pan. And that was it's made its way down to you, and then it's going to make its way down to the Cubs. White Mountain Girl, hello. Hello, good to see you. Let's see, do you have a cast iron stove? They look really cool. I grew up with a cast iron stove. I grew up with a cast iron stove in our house. If any of you 80s kids out here, my dad had an earth stove. And my mom cooked on the earth stove all the time. It didn't have eyes on it. It was just flat. And we made popcorn and stuff on it all the time. Yeah, Lee, I'm glad you could show up, buddy. Yeah, we might hit 30. I think we hit 33 the last live. Sorry this is taking so long, but this was a last minute, like I said, last minute venue change with the loaf pan to the 2-quart Dutch oven. But the potato pancakes aren't going to take long once those are done. And like I said, this is cooking in real life, so it is what it is. But let me see. I'm going to give that another minute. Then I'm going to take the top off of that, and we're going to see where we're at with the internal temperature now that I put the lid on. And that's the thing, you in your kitchen, when you're really cooking, you run into things that don't always work out. So, sometimes you gotta do things on the fly. Yeah, thanks, Val. And once again, this is another great thing. We're at 28 people watching, and we've had 23 thumbs up. So, I mean, you can't really. Getting almost 100% of likes as opposed to viewers. I mean, unless you've got one viewer, it's hard to do that. So let me get this and check and see where I'm at with the temp on that meatloaf. And see where I've gotten to with that. I think the lid is really helping. Let me grab the temperature, but I don't want to open this thing up a bunch. It's not how I get anything cooked. Yeah, it's raising up. I'm at 140. But the center is where I'm having a tough time getting to. That's the part that's not going so great. But I'm at 140. I mean, it's just, that's the thing with trivet cooking, and that's what I was afraid of, is when I put it onto a trivet, that's where things start to go a little awry, and they can. But we're going to keep the lid on it because the lid seems to be helping. And I'll throw the lid back on. And that's a nice thing about these little Dutch ovens. They do come with a number 5 lid. So if you don't have a number 5 lid, you can't find one, get yourself a 2-quart Dutch oven. What's in the oven? I am making meatloaf, dear. I am making a glorified meatball in a 2-quart Lodge Dutch oven on a trivet because I didn't know how well the loaf pan would go without the little rack that I have in the bottom of it to keep it out of the grease. And then we're also going to do potato pancakes on the side and some peas and carrots. So basically, I'm making shepherd's pie, or so I'm making shepherd's pie without putting it all together. Let me give that a stir as well. Get something here, a little pasta spoon. I need to get a little. I need to get a slotted spoon for my enamelware, because all I have is my spaghetti spoon. But those are coming along just fine, other than that one that's looks like that piece up by that thing. There we go. And I love the color of that. I love these. I just ordered since I know that my daughter's not watching. I just ordered her a piece of Le Creuset for her birthday. She's got a big birthday coming up here in a little while. And so I ordered her some Le Creuset. So, because my kids are getting to the age where they're starting their own kitchens. And even though I have a lot to pass down, I saw a lady break up the hamburger with pasta. Yeah, I've done that too. But even though their kitchens are set, they've hopefully got a while before they inherit my stuff. Hopefully quite a while, actually. I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm going to give this another stir and keep that. Yeah, that's what I needed. I needed this to thicken up. Those are thickened up real nice. I know, White Mountain Girl. I know, Whitey, you love instant mashed potatoes. But, yeah, she's getting, she's had her eye on a couple things, and, so, yeah, that's one of the things she's getting for her birthday, is some Le Creuset. And actually, my Harry Potter, I don't know if I've ever shown that. I'll show that real quick. It's kind of dusty because it sits on one of my racks. But I'll go get that, and since we're kind of at a standstill with everything, I'll show that real quick. My Harry Potter pan, or Dutch oven. Like I said, it is a little bit dusty, so you have to forgive me, but I'll wipe it off real quick. But this is one of the big things in the collection that I was talking about on Cast Iron Chaos last night. And, but yeah, this is my Quidditch pan from the Harry Potter series. This is a super cool pan. I've never used it, but it has, if you can see, it has the actual Quidditch on the top of that. And we also got, I also got the Pie Bird, what is that? Oh, what's the name of that? The owl. But yeah, that's one of my pieces. When Le Creuset does these theme series or movie things, these are definitely something, if you're a collector or you flip cast iron, this is one of the things, these are the kind of things you want to pick up, because I got this at a certain price. I got it as a closeout at the end of the run with it from Williams-Sonoma when they marked them way down, and now they're through the roof. It's almost like you basically ask how much you want for it. But yeah, and this is a 3.5 quart Dutch oven. It's a 20, and it is so cool. And the little pie bird that goes along with it, the owl. And I always lose my nouns when I do this. But I'm trying to think of what the name of the owl is. But I have that, and I'll go grab that and I'll show you that as well. But these are really super fun, and I love this. She won't use it, which I think is cool too. But put that off on my rack there. I want to say that his name is Hedwig, but I know that I'm probably messing that up. And then there's this. There's the Le Creuset Pie Bird that goes along with it. I've never used it in my videos, but I think if you've ever seen some of the social media I've done, which is very limited when I do a pie, that's my Pie Bird. I have that, and then I have some 1930s Black Crows that they were from a set. I'd like to get all 5 pieces of the set, but I only have 2 of the Black Crows. But yeah, this is another cool one. Little pie bird. You set that down in your pie, and the steam comes out through the sides. And I thought the steam like would come out through somewhere besides the top. Like I thought it would come out through here, but it just comes out of the top, and it's just the one hole, which is what they really all have. But yeah, Hedwig, exactly. Yeah, but Hedwig is that's what he is, and that's my Harry Potter. That's what I have of the Harry Potter piece. The one I wanted was the casserole pan with the handle was the wizard wand, and those are super cool. But everywhere that I looked, those sold out as soon as Harry Potter the Harry Potter collection hit Le Creuset. Those were instantly gone. Let me see here. What's that? Yeah, Hedwig is a lady. Okay, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Even though I will tell you, Handsome Stone, I did win in household Harry Potter trivia. I was the winner. I beat out teenagers in Harry Potter trivia. So that's one I didn't know. I thank you for that because that might come in handy later. But but yeah, it does sound like a guy's name. But everything in Harry Potter, everything is sort of except for the main character types. I mean, everybody's got some kind of name. You know, they've all got some kind of name that sounds like something else. Sounds magical, very wizardry. It's very wizardish. You know, everything's very magical sounding in the Harry Potter world. I'm going to check this one more time with the lid on, and because once I get to 155, I'm going to start my potatoes. And the dog's looking at me. Here comes the dog. So she's probably going to knock over a light or something. Watch out, Biggs. Watch out, I'm opening the door. I don't want you to get burnt. My dog doesn't have any common sense. She's one of those that might actually jump into the inside of the oven. She doesn't have a lot of... Oh yeah, we're looking good on that now. We're up to 100 and almost 150. So I think we're gonna go with, yeah, I've got 150 in some other parts. Oh yeah, I think we're in good shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the lid off of this, and I'm gonna add the I'm gonna go ahead and add the topping, the glaze for the top, which I said was the mustard barbecue sauce. And I'm not going to take it out of the oven because I don't want to lose that temperature that I've gained up. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to throw on the barbecue sauce to the inside. And it's actually looking really good. I wish I could open that up a little bit more, and I would show you. But like I said, I really want to keep that I really want to keep that temperature where it's at, and my dog from jumping in there and doing anything ridiculous, which she will do. She will do ridiculous things, and she proves that every single day of her existence, that she will do silly stuff. So let me just, if I can't get that down in here. And it won't take much. I've been wanting to use this for a while. This came highly recommended to me from a friend to use this on my chicken. I love mustard barbecue sauce on my chicken. When I do chicken halves, I always do a mustard barbecue. Almost always. But it is one thing that I do. Let me see. And let me get where is my brush? Oh, here it is. Peas and carrots do rock. That is one of my favorites. One thing that I just found the recipe for that I cannot wait to make, and I'm going to do that as soon as I possibly can, is I'm going to make creamed peas and onions. I know that's sort of a, people say that's sort of a southern thing. I don't know how, if it is or not. I grew up with peas, cream peas and pearl onions, but that is one of my all-time favorites, and I found my recipe for it going through my recipe box today, so I cannot wait to do that. If I don't know if people remember when Bird's Eye used to make the boxes, the frozen one. You always make them at Christmas, Whitey? Yeah, they're fantastic. And when I was a kid, my mom used to get the what do you call it? The Bird's Eye, like the cardboard or packaged ones, like packaged things from the frozen things, and she would get a lot of times the peas and onions, and those were some. Oh, this smells really good. I wish I would have made. I had time to make gravy, but I do not. So I'm just gonna put that on top of there, and we're gonna glaze that up. Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be real good. Put that mustard barbecue sauce on there. And one of the things I like just as much as I like meatloaf itself is I really like a good cold meatloaf sandwich. And with all that bread that I just made last night, that bread came out so good. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'll tell you what, that bread came out so good. It almost came out like milk bread. And just adding that little bit of olive oil and changing my proof time and adjusting how I did did some other stuff. The proof time, the proof temperature, and just the order that I put things in. It really made a big difference. And those were things that I didn't think before would matter, but they really matter. That really made such a difference that I'm almost ready to shoot another video and delete my other bread video, because the bread that I made last night is definitely kicking my old bread recipe's ass. You know, I'm not a ketchup guy, but meatloaf sandwich is one of the few things besides French fries that I actually like ketchup sauce on. Normally I don't. I've got sour cream. I have sour cream on the side for the potato pancakes. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna raise that temperature up on here. I'm gonna get that to the frying temperature. Even though I've had this sitting back there on the burners, and it is just about the temperature anyway. But I'm gonna let that old griddle come up to temperature, and then we're really gonna start rocking. Cane's what? Cane's chicken? No chili sauce. The bread looked great. Yeah, thank you very much. The bread was fantastic. And like I said, not to even toot my own horn, but the bread was phenomenal. That's like the best bread that I've made in my lifetime so far. And I'm actually going to go and unwrap the bread and bring it over here and cut a couple pieces off, because I'm going to have that with some bread and butter on the side there. I'll actually bring the bread over once I get it moved. I gotta move a couple things. Oh, I hate when I hit that. So anyway, I'm gonna move. This is still pretty hot. Move that into the center here where it can sit. Move this off to the side. And I'm going to leave this here, move my drink, because this is one thing that I know I'm about to spill, is this drink. Because it's getting a little light. I actually need to make another one, but I'll wait to do that in just a little bit. I'll do that in here in a little while. But I'm going to move the serving tray over. Let's see. And I'm going to unwrap my bread real quick, because I do have the bread wrapped up. Yes, Whitey, you are way up north. Way up there in the White Mountains. see here. And we'll get that off to the side. Let me grab my bread knife. Bread knife's right over here. Thanks for your patience, everybody. I really didn't think that this was going to turn into... I thought we were going to be done a while ago, but I say that every week. And so we are going to bring you over and I'll show you the bread. This bread came out so good. It's a little crummier today, but I don't mind that. Let me see, let me just move that over. But it is so soft, and the bottom came out so soft. I wish you could have seen it from last night when I actually first made it. But it came out, and I'll just take a couple. I'm just going to do a couple pieces for the bread and butter on the side, and get that off out of the way. Move that over here. Dog snacks. The dog loves the crumbs. So we'll have that, and then let me spread just a little butter on that. And I didn't forget the potato pancakes either. Those are just, they don't take very long. So I'm just going to do this part real quick and get my bread and butter done. And this bread, so good. And it's salted. I used an egg wash and sea salt topping. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good. Let's see. Make sure that that's going fairly decent in there. Yeah, that's glazing up real nice. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Then I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil. Maybe a lot of olive oil. And smear that around here. That going. And another little pat of that butter to keep everything going where I need it to go. Jay Justice, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. The planets have aligned again this week, and you're here. Awesome. Got butter around, and I'm going to potato cakes on here, and let those get going. I don't want to crowd that up. I'll just do those two to get it started. Kind of layer that down. Those go and get heated up. That off to the side. And I'm going to take the temperature on that meatloaf again, because I think that meatloaf is going to be able to come out here directly. Because I was at 155. I don't want to overdo. There's nothing worse than dry meatloaf. There's like court summonses, lawsuits, and dry meatloaf. There we go, and it's done. It is finished. Let me get my other side on here. Pull this off. Yeah, that came out real nice. It's not huge, but it came out and it looks really good. It's got that nice, it glazed up perfectly. That honey mustard or the mustard barbecue, the Carolina mustard barbecue sauce. That came out really nice. I'll set that off to the side. I'm going to get a cut of that. Yeah, it does. It smells. When I opened up the stove, that meatloaf. And the meatloaf, without a rest, and it's, get down into the center of it. I'm at one, let me see, I gotta get down into the middle here. I'm just at 170, and I wanted to be at 165 before I pulled it out. Because meatloaf to me is not one of those things that you rest, right? You just like kind of, you know, you want it to get it to temperature and you don't want it to be cold. Let me give this the litmus test and see how it's doing. Not quite. I hope these come out. One of the things that have been the bane of my existence is potato pancakes. They have never come out right for me. So we'll just let that. We're gonna let that sit over there and rest. But we're gonna hope that these come out and do their thing for sure. I have had to use onion in the potatoes. I did not use onion. I used dried chives, dehydrated chives in there. That's what I used in there. I have onions in the the meatloaf though. And I think the meatloaf is going to come out. I wish I would have. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I wish I would have went the other direction in there when I slice it. I wish I would have went the other direction with the trivet, so it's not. You know what I mean? I feel like it's going to fall through the trivet. The potato pancakes need a couple more. They're going to need another minute. I'm actually going to throw a little bit more butter on there. So I think I might have just went. One thing that I do wrong when I cook quite frequently is I under oil. I under oil everything. I don't know why I do it, but I do it. Ooh, those are starting to smell a little too cooked. No, they're not. But they will get there if I don't watch what I'm doing. But I tend to under oil. That's one of the things that I do, and I don't like that I do that. I tend to under oil. That's just all there is to it. Let's see here. Is it looking? I wish I could get a better shot. Watch out, dog. That's a little much, but I didn't get to it as fast as I got to the other one. So I got those going. These are, and they won't need hardly any time. They'll just need I'm gonna go a minute or two, maybe just a minute on that, because these are really nice and tender. The backs came out. They got a nice crisp to them, and all that. So I've got my bread here. It looks pretty washed out. Let me see if I turn this light off, if that does anything, if that kind of takes it down a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that helps or not. Sort of looks a little. Maybe that does help a little bit. And then the potato pancakes, once again, they're not that dark, but yeah, you know, I could have just thrown a little bit of bacon grease on there. It's only sitting right there. That would have been fine. Maybe just another minute or so. Like I said, we'll give them another minute and let them get in there. But I think those are going to be about where I want those. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take off a piece of this meatloaf, because that's looking really good, and I'm absolutely starving to death, as I generally am at a late dinner time like I usually do on Thursdays, because normally I'm like a 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon eater. I usually do a 4 or 5 o'clock meal, and then the rest of my night is spent snacking like an idiot. But yeah, I didn't get a really good cut on that. Like I said, I should have moved that, and I'm going to do that. Well, I'm not going to do it now. But yeah, that's coming along just fine. Got a little bit of meatloaf there. Gave that 2 minutes, which is about what I wanted to. And I keep losing my spatula. Oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. And some potato pancakes. And some potato pancakes. Yeah, those came out looking really nice. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll turn that off for, I'm going to turn that off for now. I might end up throwing a, oh, and I don't want to forget, my peas and carrots. I won't forget my peas and carrots. So that's also what the dog's after. My dog loves peas and carrots, which is pretty good for her. So I will take that. And that go. And just a little bit of that on the side. Like I said, it's basically I made a shepherd's pie, just separate. Okay, got that. Throw some butter on the potato pancakes. A little bit of butter on there. A little bit of butter, because that's what I do like them that way. Let me get a. Yeah, I didn't get myself a fork. That's what I need. I need a fork. Need to fork these things off. There we go. Oh, those are nice and hot. Look at that butter melt. That's perfect. That's how you want it. And then a little bit for the peas and carrots. The butter on there. And just a little more. Some assembly required shepherd's pie. And a little bit of pepper on all of it. And there we go. Let me turn that. Oh, let me see here. Let me see. So I'll bring that up here so everybody can get a look. I think that came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with my dinner tonight. I'm definitely going to smash on that. I don't know if I can get it all in there. But yeah, that came out. The meatloaf came out really nice. It's not all dry. It's nice and juicy. Yeah. If you can kind of see on the side there. I got to 165. I wanted to pull it off at 160 and it got to 170, but I'll take it considering the how I had to do it and the menagerie of maneuvering that we did. Turn the timers off on all these. Move my griddle off to the side. Griddle off to the side there. And there we go. Not sure what time we got. What are we, 8:30? Not too bad. Let me see. Yes, you should bring, anytime you show up here, you should bring beer. At least something that has some sort of alcohol in it. And because that's always welcome. And the higher the proof, I've found in my life that the higher the proof, the more I enjoy it. I don't know if that's maybe a good motto to live by, but it's one that I do. Yeah, Handsome Stone. So let's give her a go. I'm not going to eat on here too much because I know I've been doing that and I don't really want to do a lot of lip smacking and everything, but this is a piece with the Carolina barbecue sauce, that's what I was really interested in. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Ooh, Yeah, I'm gonna do another one. That barbecue sauce. Oh, that's why I don't like to talk on these shows, because I always have my mouth full because I got to keep talking, and I hate bad manners. I hate bad table manners. Um, yeah, that is. It's a little. It's a little. I would definitely say that I could tell that it was at 170 instead of 160 when I pulled it, but it's held together nicely, and that's one of the things that's what I was wanting. I wanted to get into that. Corey Clark, thank you so much for that last suggestion and saying, yeah, we can pull that off, because it definitely needed to be on a trivet instead of on a in the bottom of that loaf pan. Yeah, that's great. That meatloaf is fantastic. Let's check out the instant mashed potato cakes. Nice and crispy. Yeah, that's a great recipe for. Yeah, I highly suggest that. And let's do this shepherd's pie style and get a little bit of it all together. Get a little bit on there with the peas and the carrots, because that's what it's all about. Yeah, that's 19. That takes me back right there to 1982 in my mom's kitchen. That's exactly what she would have made. That's exactly what she would have made. So, yeah. Welcome back to the Reagan years. The bread. Hold on. Yeah, shepherd's pie deconstructed. Yeah, that's a really good idea. If all of us could get together and put a recipe book out. I've got recipes. I mean, this is my recipe for meatloaf. It's my recipe for bread. It's my recipe for potato cakes. Nature did the peas and carrots, and whoever thought of flash freezing. But it reminds me a lot of how delicious those banquet meals were when we were kids. The banquet meals were so much better when I was a kid. They because your mom didn't microwave them or anything. She actually put them on like a cookie sheet, and she baked them like the right way, and vented the foil where it was supposed to be. And even though the stuff was it was instant mashed potatoes in there, and the frozen corn and the frozen vegetables, it was still really, really good. And that's what I'm getting right here. That is really good. I wish you guys were here for that. And this bread, I really can't believe how well. I got to get a piece of the bread with the crust on the back. And I got the beagle over here. Beags, you want a piece of bread? You want a little bread piece? Come here. There you go. There you go. You're being patient. And being sitting so pretty. Looking good. Yeah, that's all right. Oh, thank you, Greg Hart. It is the beard is definitely it's there. That's for sure. It's there and in the way. Let's see. I buy banquet box chicken if I'm too busy to cook any. Yeah. Thanks, Suey. Yeah, this came out great. The potato pancakes. That's what. Out of everything, that's one of the things I really was wanting. I haven't had a good potato pancake in a while. But I had potato flakes up from something else, and I added what it was is I added the potato flakes into something else, and I can't remember what I added the potato flakes into. So I had all these cans of potato flakes sitting up there, and I'm like, what can I do with those? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't had potato pancakes in forever. And I found that in there, or I found that in my recipe box and wrote it down on the back of that. You know, I love Banquet box chicken. Their box chicken, I don't know what they put on that, but it's good. Their crust, their breading on Banquet fried chicken and that you bake in the oven is so good. My mom, that was like a treat when we were kids. If I saw my mom come in with 2 boxes of Banquet chicken, it was like one crazy straw away, and chocolate milk. It was like one crazy straw away from being like the greatest day ever. See what the dog thinks. I got to get an onion free piece for the beast. There we go. Oh, Val, I thought you were here at the very, very beginning. But I will tell you what, this barbecue sauce is very mustard forward as far as the profile goes for it. It has it's not like a French's mustard or Heinz mustard. It's more of a vinegar forward mustard barbecue sauce, and there's not. It's very. I can taste the turmeric in it, and what's the other thing in there? It's got an apple cider. It's got an apple cider base with it as well. Not just in the apple cider vinegar, but there's actually apple cider in here, and yeah, it's really really good. I'm pretty surprised. But a friend recommended that to me, and I would definitely. Charlie wants a bite. I wish Charlie was here. Charlie could have a bite. Charlie's one of my favorite dogs. He's one of my favorite internet dogs. But yeah, I mean, it's a super good one. If I were to barbecue with this outside though, I think as vinegar forward as it is, and I do this to a lot of my barbecue sauces, no matter how they come. I usually don't. I'm one of those people that doctors up a lot of things, and doctoring up barbecue sauce is something I almost always do, and I would definitely add honey to this. I would definitely add a nice clover, like a local honey that's a little more sweet than a lot of that's a little sweeter than the stuff that you get in the store. But I would definitely add honey to that. You know, more of a honey mustard barbecue sauce. Need a little more to drink. Let's see, I braved the weather and got pizza. Yeah, that's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's pizza night. But yeah, everything came out good. I'm really happy with that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read a little bit more of the apple cider vinegar is it's a taste that I've really acquired in the last few years. But yeah, we'll do let's see, I'm making chili surprise tomorrow night. I'll be over. It might take me 6 or 7 hours to fly in, but I will be there for your chili surprise. I love chili surprise. Yeah, the place where I get my beeswax for my the bee farm where I get my beeswax for the Seven Shamrocks Beard Company beard balms and the cast iron cure. They actually have to take and refine their honey down a lot more because it's too sweet. It doesn't have the profile that they're looking for. And I've had it to where I've had it before they filtered it a couple times, and it's so sweet, and that it actually kind of puckers you up in the back of your throat. And I've never had honey like that before. Get a little bit of this bread. Yeah, William Hurt, send that Carolina mustard sauce recipe to Honey J Badger, all lowercase at yahoo.com. I would love to have that. So, has anybody, before I get going, has anybody heard from Luis? Is Luis actually not doing any more lives, or was that just a thing that he didn't do? Because if he is going to do something, I'm going to get off here and let everybody go take a break before they watch him at his time. Plus, I'm going to smash this food. This is like, this is one of the best dinners I've had since, oh, I don't even know. I did make tacos yesterday that were pretty banging. The crunchy tacos. I've been on a big kick with hard shell tacos because I used to live with somebody who they couldn't have, and this has been a long time ago. And I got out of the habit of they were corn allergic, and I had this friend that was corn allergic. So every time I would have tacos, I wouldn't. They were highly allergic, so I would just get the soft taco, the wheat taco stuff, and so I got out of the habit of buying them, and I bet I haven't bought crunchy shell tacos except for getting them at Taco Bell in a long time. And I got those for the Taco Bell recreate we did a couple weeks ago, and I've been smashing crunchy tacos. I mean, I still have in the refrigerator. There's still the soft shells that I bought for that night to do the Taco Bell taco pizza. But I've went through 2 boxes of hard shell tacos because I got out of the habit of buying them. You get this, you get a little bit of that again. These are so good. They're so good that I don't even care that I forgot the sour cream sauce the sour cream that I have in the refrigerator to put on them. Don't care. Let's see. I love the nacho hard shell ones. Let's see. Has anyone have seen pickled red beets lately? I haven't seen them in years. My butcher shop carries pickled beets and eggs. And my mom used to make. Now I know I always think they're the best because my mom made them. But I tried to get my mom's recipe for pickled beets and eggs and hard boiled eggs, and she does not know how she did it. And it's like a crime against humanity because I've had other people's pickled eggs and beets, and they are nowhere near what my mom and my grandma used to make them. They were so good. Yeah, it's worth using my fingers. Plus, I have gloves on, so it's okay. I'm totally protected. I'm strapped up, as the kids say, and I have that piece just sitting there. I mean, it didn't need to be forked. Like I said, my manners go out the window when I'm on these. Yeah, they are the best. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here and let everybody go on about their night. And I will definitely see you next week. It's been a pretty busy. Last week was pretty hectic. It's going to be more hectic this week. So, but I will see you next week. And please tune in because my friend's making a really big trip, and I was really excited to be able to get his time just for a few hours and go through some of the cast iron that he'll be bringing. It's some of these pieces he sent me pictures for. I'm gonna post some of those on the community page and all that, and we're going to. And we're going to be going. I'll put up some of those and all that. But I'm really looking forward to him being here. And I don't know if anything we're going to cook anything, because I think he's one of these guys that really he's gonna bring his game. He's gonna bring some really nice game pieces and all that. Oh yeah, what's the clue? Yeah, and don't put them in here. Put them in the comments section of the community page for this edition, for this live, and the clue is other than 2 months out of the year, it's always sweater weather. It's always sweater weather. So, and Handsome Stone, what I'll do is, let's see. The first one was it's not Ohio. I was not born in Ohio. In the state I live in now. The other one was it's not a state that has a vowel at the beginning and at the end. So like Alaska, Alabama, it's not one of those states. And the last week's clue was that the radio and the TV stations all begin with the letter K and not W. So that was that. And then this one was all but two months out of the year, it's sweater weather. Sweater weather's hard to say. And I think I think my daughter has a candle from Bath and Body Works called Sweater Weather. I think that's actually an actual scent. But anyway, so that's the other clue. Don't put it up here. Don't put it on here because I'm getting ready to turn this off. But put it in the comments for the post if you have a guess. And because I definitely check those and I definitely will see them. So that stuff will be there. But anyway, I'm going to get off here and I will see you guys next week. Be good and I'll see you in the comment sections. All right. See ya.